All right, guys, welcome back to Watch Trading Academy. And joining me today could be one of the youngest people that has ever gotten to $100,000 in earnings in a rolling 12 months. Joining me today is Ion Bunsell. Congratulations on a crazy fucking achievement.
Thank you, thank you.
This is crazy. You're 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you when you discovered Watch Trading Academy? Like what age were you at the moment you touched the trading for the first time?
I was 16. So it was the end of my junior year of high school. My dad had just gotten into exotic car hacks. And with that, he's like, check out this WTA thing, because I've been looking for bullshit ways to make money online, like Amazon and that kind of stuff. And it kind of went somewhere, but never really went anywhere. He's like, there's someone who's like going to handhold you on how to make money with watches. And I'm like, I'll take a look. Right? So we go through the summer. I buy my first couple of watches and I set my first goal. I'm like, I want to make 100K by the time I turn 18. And, I got to work. I thought it was an impossible fucking goal, by the way. Throughout September, I was in losses. I'm like, I have 11 more months. I have to make more than 100 grand now. And, when I finally realized I'm on pace to hit 100K, it was the craziest thing ever. Like, I was a month out and I was already celebrating.
So let's go back for a second, because you said some things that are maybe normal to you, but they're normal to most people.
Yeah.
16-year-old want to make money. I have to look at e-com, other things.
Yeah.
Why are you so hungry at 16? Your dad's doing well. He's looking at exotic car hacks, meaning you're not like poverty level. Like, I have to make money for my family. So where does that hunger come from at 16 specifically?
Yeah. I mean, I think it started even younger. At like 10, 11, I was begging my dad, like, let me get into stocks. I want to make money.
At what age? At 11?
10 or 11. Yeah, I was in fifth grade.
Fucking laughing.
I was in fifth grade. I still remember this.
This guy at 11 years old is trying to fucking make money. I'm dodging bullets and fucking bombs. Right, so
I always saw how like my dad worked a lot and how he was like hungry for growth. And I just didn't feel like sitting around like wasting my life. I'm like, shit, I need to get on this. I need to start making money.
You felt like you were wasting your life at 11?
Not at 11, but 15, yes. At 15, I was like, I'm just sitting around all day. I need something to do.
Okay, so at 11, you're like already want to make money somehow. 15, 16, you are thinking between stocks, e-com, watches. Was it your dad that pushed you into watches?
No.
Or was it, okay, so what was it about watches that caught your attention? Because at that age, you don't have a ton of watches.
Yeah.
You're not like...
So e-com, I was really just like shooting in the dark.
Okay.
Same thing with stocks too. It was really just pick and get lucky. It was a gamble.
So you weren't really investing time learning this.
So I tried to learn, but like it wasn't really going anywhere. I still saw it as shooting in the dark. Okay. With watches, I had someone who was there ready to like handhold me. I had the whole course that was there to like, okay, I'm going to teach you what you need to know and you can go. So I'm like, okay, I'm more likely to succeed here because I'm someone who's actually going to help me out here. Someone who's like proven that they can do it and someone who's going to walk me through it.
And then now fast forward to 18, you've done this about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. How long before you bought your first watch from the time you joined WTA?
I joined May, bought my first watch like July.
So 2 months?
Yeah,
60
June.
days
Yeah.
or so? What was the first watch you bought?
It was a Frank Mueller.
Oh, okay, that's terrible.
Yeah.
How much money did you make or lose?
I lost close to $1,000 on it.
Okay. It was how much of a watch? Like
$5,000.
$5,000. Okay, so you lost $1,000 on a first purchase, roughly 20%. Tell me about what happens in your mind when you're 17, 16 years old at this point and you're losing 20% or $1,000.
So it was very demotivating. Like up until like September, October, I hadn't made money yet. Mm-hmm. It was just like, what am I doing? Like, this should be easy. And I couldn't figure it out. And it was kind of making me mad because I'm like, if a bunch of other people can figure it out, there's no reason I can't. Okay. So it's like, let me figure out what I'm doing wrong. Let me step back and let me get back into it.
And what were you doing wrong when you're...
I was buying not the right models, like buying a Frank Mueller. Okay. I was just buying dumb pieces, and it kind of turned around when I started to buy smarter pieces.
Okay. So why specifically did you start buying Frank Mueller's when the training doesn't talk about buying
So
Frank
that was in the top watch deals of the week. I was targeting
Oh,
that.
and the specific watch
Yeah.
deals instead of the watches to buy at the
Yep.
beginning. Okay.
Yeah. So that's when it changed. I looked at the top watches to buy list and I found the moon watches. I became obsessed with those and I started making money on those.
Okay, so the Omega Moon watches.
Yes, the
Those
Omega
are the
Moon
ones
watches,
that you
yep.
liked. Okay. So the first successful batch of watches were all Omegas for you?
Yes, they were all Omega. So I did good with like the two-door Pandas. I had one or two of those that I made money on. That was what I got my first sold order on. And then I started to get into the Omegas. The Omega Moon watches, I just went crazy with those.
Okay, so Omega was like your favorite go-to brand
Yep.
that kind of got you
Yes.
moving in the right direction. So you went from taking 20% losses. Was the next couple of watches all losses, or was it some wins?
In terms
too?
of what I bought, yes, they were all losses. I bought a Ulysses, the blue and yellow one, which I sold to you. That was a $200 loss. I'm like, okay, it's a $200 loss. And when you told me you had the guy negotiate, so I sold it to you for $13,000. I bought for $13,200, and you originally offered the guy $12,000. He accepted, but he rejected your offer. Sold
Yeah,
it to
because
me.
you
because I
outbid me
offered
basically.
more.
Yeah, you gave him more
So I'm
money.
like, okay, I just need to start offering lower. Maybe that's my issue. I'm going too passive. I'm like, because right there, you just showed me how to make $1,000 just right in front of me.
Right, because you would have sold it to me, you would have made it grand. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, I can make money. So I, went into two-door. I started lowballing people like crazy. Anywhere I could go, I was just making constant offers on anything I could do. If I'm like, there's an opportunity for me to make money at this price, let me offer 10% less. Let me try and build my margin.
I really like the fact that you have this, like, this is something really important, and I don't know if it's kudos to your dad, your upbringing, or whatever, but you have this I don't give a shit attitude.
Yeah.
It's very good. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, it's cocky a little bit at times, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good in the sense that you're not afraid of, like, I fucked up, I don't care, right? Like, I'm going to figure it out, next one. And you don't get emotional about the pain, right? And it's very hard because there's people that are 30 when you're 18 years old. There's people that are 30 who still get emotional about the pain. They're like, oh, I lost something. Like, I get frozen in time. So I think that's a really important lesson here is like, as a person who's 18 years old, you have this larger capacity as a child who's now becoming an adult into this concept of no fear towards emotional like loss, and I think it's really, really important. And it's a really good quality just for you guys watching I've always said, if you want to be successful in the game of watches, you have to systemize processes and money and no longer look at it through an emotional lens, like I made a mistake, I'm a failure. And instead it's like, the money's gone, the money's come back. The money's gone, the money's come back. It's not like an emotional part about like, what does the failure mean? Does that mean I'm bad or whatever? But you were able to take several losses and then turn around and realize each time like why the loss or what's wrong. And then Omega was the tipping like brand that just made you like, oh, I like this and I can do this, etc. What was it about that brand that made you obsessed with? You said I was obsessed with these moon watches. Like I like them.
So I first looked through the best first watches to buy. That was on the list. So I started looking at it. I'm like, okay, there's some decent deals here where I can make money. And I guess it was the first watch which I made money on. And I realized these are very undervalued watches. Back then I was buying those watches for like $4,000, $5,000. I just got quoted for one $6,700 yesterday. So I thought they were just, in general, they were very undervalued watches for the price. And the retail following for them is very big. For those moon watches, I think like outside of Rolex, a couple of their models, it's also the most popular model that's trading on Chrono 24.
So that became kind of a like fixation of like this. Did you do like multiple moon watches after that? Okay, like you
yeah, so like I continued, I think in total, like for that time, I traded almost 15, 20 of them. What's
really interesting, again, second point here is that we look at people like Camden, who started also when they were 17, got a fixation for Breitling. For him, it was like Breitling, college students, whatever. And he became an expert in the Breitling, specific like watches he liked. And again, 10, 15 deals, similar, like in one brand before kind of going. Did you personally like the moon watch or did you just like the money?
I like the money.
You didn't care for the watch, like it wasn't like you didn't like it more than the Frank Mueller or anything else.
No, like sure it's a nice watch, but I like the money more.
In your family, were people into watches?
No, Never.
Like meaning, like was your dad always wearing a Rolex or something? No, no. Okay, so
No
this
one had
wasn't something that he was doing all
yeah,
the time.
no one
Okay.
had owned a watch more than like $200.
So this is why I want to ask that. So what is the next thing I want to know is what does it feel like being that young, 16 to 18, like in that range, and wearing 5, 10, $15,000 watches when the majority of people, even at 25, are afraid to spend $5,000 on a watch?
Yeah. It's motivating.
Okay.
Because it's like, wow, I'm this old, I'm wearing, a 15K watch, I'm wearing an AP, I'm wearing a Rolex. It's like, then you realize people spend 10 times that for fun. You're doing this for a business, people spend 10 times that amount for fun, and it motivated me even more. It's like, holy shit, there's someone out there who can just make this look like nothing to them. And I'm like, I want to get to the point where I'm at that level, and I'm the one who can actually buy these watches and not think twice about it.
It took you a while to get to the $100,000, like, I remember you were struggling a while, then you have these boosts where you do really well, and then you kind of go down and you boost again. Tell me a little bit about this up and down journey, because this is something that's interesting, because you're in elite coaching, I get text messages once in a while with, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
What's this? You're young, but somehow you have this sense of urgency for some reason to like, want to be like 250 tomorrow, 500, what am I doing wrong? This is the part I'm trying to understand for this video is like, why do you specifically have that when, like you have that hunger towards like, I want to win, but yet you don't have really financial stress.
Yeah.
You're not like, you don't live in a, again, like you're not part of a poverty household where things are tough. You have very good upbringing. You have education. Things that usually are counter factors for why people, like I can't go to school. I got to double hustle because, no one's going to give me a job. What's kind of your driver?
So,
like, what is your driver for wanting to be 250, 300 so fast? Like, is there something you want to buy? Like, you're just hungry because you want a car? Like, what is it that's motivating you?
I mean, that's how I've always been. Like, anything I've ever done, like, I've just wanted more. And the way I kind of think about it is, I think you said this. Think of the richest person you know. There's someone who makes them look poor, and there's someone who makes them look poor. And I kind of think about it. I'm like, there's so much money in the world. I want to be able to like live the lifestyle which you live, have 30 cars. And I feel like if I'm not in the constant hustle, or if I'm in the constant hustle, that's my best way to get there. Let me keep pushing as hard as I can today. So that way in 10, 15 years, if I want to say, screw it, let me sit back, let me not do anything for the rest of my life, I have the opportunity to do that.
But is there something that happened in your life where you've seen someone struggle or something? Because I feel like that's a very good thought, but I'm just curious as to what that trigger point is that creates that.
I saw my dad hustle pretty much all throughout my life. Like I'd be waking up at school 6 a.m.
Has your dad had a lot of ups and downs? Or was it,
ups and downs.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it wasn't like always steady.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Okay.
So he like grew his business throughout my childhood, basically. So I watched him do that. So I'd watch him be up at 6 a.m. working. I'd go to bed at 11. He's still in his office working. And that kind of became like a norm to me. Like, okay. If
like working is a norm.
Maybe. Yeah, if you have to work all day, it's not a big deal.
It's not a negative.
It's not a negative. It's not a big deal. And every day he would talk about, he's like, I don't work at all. Like, he truly believed that he didn't work. Yeah, I saw him work,
Do you feel like you miss out on a lot of the, what other 18-year-olds do when because you start at 16.
Yeah.
You told me at 11 you wanted to make some money.
Yeah.
So you're missing out on what the majority of normal kids do, until they're like 20, they fuck around.
I would say like missing out a little bit. I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. Sure, I am missing out. I don't feel like I'm missing out one bit because I'm like, there's fun, which I have a lot of fun.
So you still have like,
I'm still having a lot of fun. I still go out all the time.
You don't look at this as work.
I don't look at this as work. There's a balance which I have. And I think instead of just sitting around doing nothing, which a lot of people my age do, I'm just going to go put that into working.
Now, whatever the fuck your excuse is, this fucking kid was, hustling at 11. He's 18 fucking years old, talking like he's 35. And these are really good opportunities to self-reflect on urgency, way we look at work-life balance, the way we look at determination to win, ability for emotion when it comes to, again, not making money on a couple of deals and not giving up and staying strong in the path. So I hope you guys are really like taking this in. So I have a few more questions and then we'll basically wrap this up. When you think about going from 100 to 250 now, what are some of the obstacles you see in your way?
It's a completely different game with 100, I think I was able to hustle my way there. With 250, I have to develop a little bit more of a business and properly bring in like clients, repeat clients, and that kind of stuff. So I'm working on how to turn it into a business.
Okay, so are you doing a lot of wholesale deals, trying to do a lot of retail instead?
Yes. So yeah, moving from wholesale to retail, that's a big thing because you can make 3 or 4K on a like $25,000 AP when you retail it.
Yeah.
And that's not crazy margins either.
No, it's very
You buy somewhat
normal,
decent,
yeah.
you sell somewhat decent, you're making 10, 15% easily. And I see that, I'm like, okay, let's figure out how to do this. And I can start selling, 5, 10 watches a month instead of 20, 30.
What kind of volume are you doing right now?
So we checked last night. I've done 238 watches year to date.
Okay, so this is another example again of deal flow. 238 divided by like 10, 12, roughly 15, 20 watches a month. It's a lot of deals, and then all you have to do is expand the margin per deal to basically not really volumize to go to double the volume, but just get more per deal.
Yeah.
Now suddenly you're 250. So, you have all the markings for a future 250, 500K club earner. I have no doubt, whoever's watching this, that he'll be back here in the next 6 months with telling me he got 250. But I think that there's a lot of like really good lessons here in this specific video about just people understanding that like the game isn't that complicated.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's not complicated. What are some, just one last question, what are some pieces of advice you can give? You've been very active in the group. You've seen a lot of the guys in the group. What do you feel like some of the flaws are to people not being able to reach the 100K?
I think they get too stuck
On what?
in like trying to figure stuff out. They plan, but they never execute. They make all these big plans of, I need to buy this watch at this exact price, sell at this exact price. Like, get into deal flow and just like, if you see somewhat you think you can make money on, go it. Just, your only goal should be to make $100. Make $100, get through 10 watches, and just keep expanding that $100. Because a big reason why I still do so much volume today is because that's what I built like my first few months on. It was doing a lot of volume, making $100 each. Now instead of 100, maybe I'm making 500, 1,000. But it's just keep going through watches and like, don't slow down. Because that's what I do sometimes. When I text you, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm lost. That's because I've slowed down and I start overthinking it. But the minute I get back moving, I'm like, okay, let me stick to the process. Let me stick to what I know. Buy watches at, a price I'm comfortable at. List them in the places I know. And, just do my best to getting it out. Nobody knows the right answer of how do I sell watches. There's no perfect answer.
There's different
except for
ways
just put
to
it
get
out
to the
there.
same-
There's so many different ways you can do whatever you want and still get away with it.
Well, I think, guys, there's a lot of good lessons here. Hopefully you learned something new. And this is now, I believe, either the youngest or second youngest person to have ever reached the 100K club. There are so many opportunities in the game of watches, but as I always say, who will be next? What's your excuse? He's here. You should be here. So I'll catch you next time for Watch Trading Academy, and congrats again for a milestone achievement.